What's going YouTube? I'm back again with another review video. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Recharge trimmer by Supreme Trimmer. So for those of you who've seen my videos in the past, you know how I rank these things. I go over battery life, ergonomics, performance, build quality, value, and packaging. Each one of these categories is going to get 5 points, making the maximum number of points that this trimmer could get being 30 points. First, we're going to talk about the battery. Now, if you're looking at this trimmer, you're probably thinking about getting it for one reason only, and that's the batteries that it comes with. These are ejectable batteries, very similar to how the Babyliss FX1 batteries operate, only with some improvements, okay? So these batteries have a 2-hour runtime and approximately a 2-hour charge time. You can charge this battery while it is inside the trimmer or outside of the trimmer, and you can charge this battery 3 different ways. If you look closely, you can see that there's a USB-C port and a regular Supreme Trimmer charging port. You can charge it that way, or you can put it inside its dock and it'll charge that way. So you got 3 ways to charge it, and the dock is a nice little setup you got right here. You got a USB-A port to be able to charge an external device. You can charge your phone. I'm currently using it to charge my Darkstar 72. This slot right here is where you would put the trimmer. This is where you'd put the battery. The battery would rest in it like so, and then the trimmer would rest in it this way. So with this setup, you have both your battery and your trimmer being charged. You do not have to remove the battery from the trimmer to be able to charge it. So as long as you're putting the trimmer back on the dock, very rarely will you ever have to use this. I almost never use the second battery. It's convenient to have. I'm happy they included it, but I really will only be using it if I go on mobile services. The biggest reason somebody would probably want to get one of these trimmers is for mobile services. I could see you definitely wanting these if you're a mobile barber, because you have the ejectable battery that you just take out by pushing this button right here on the back. It comes out nice and easy, goes back in nice and easy. You can still plug it in and use it, unlike the FX1 series. To power the charging dock, there's a USB-C port in the back. So you would plug in a USB-C cable to the back of the charging dock, and it would supply power to the trimmer and to the battery. As long as you keep on putting your dead battery on the dock and then you switch your battery out, you should have an infinite runtime. But each battery lasts 2 hours. It takes a little less than 2 hours to charge it, but as long as you keep on going back and forth, you'll be able to go all day non-stop, as long as you keep on charging it. Now, if you don't charge it, you can buy batteries separately from the Supreme Trimmer website or Amazon. Charging structure for this tool is what Babyliss should have done, and it's where they fumbled the ball, and I feel like that's where my biggest disappointment is. There's only one way to charge an FX1 device. If I was to rank the battery life, I would give it a 5 out of 5, because you technically have endless runtime as long as you have a source of power nearby. And so you can keep on using these because the battery charges faster than it depletes. Up on the list, we're going to talk about ergonomics. So the Recharge trimmer feels like any other trimmer. Very basic in design. Doesn't do anything crazy like the Tune 45 does. It's just a normal trimmer inside a normal body. So if you used any Stylecraft or Gamma or Babyliss trimmers or anything like that, Wall, Andis, this is going to feel pretty similar to those tools. Also, for the ergonomics, you have these little lines right here that provide a textured grip, and you also have lines right there where the thumb goes that also provides more grip. You have a couple lines right here in the black part. They provide additional grip, but I don't feel like my hand is really ever touching that part. But it has plenty of grip. I don't ever feel like this tool is slipping out of my hands. I have with other tools like my sabers or my instincts, for example, where they feel like maybe I cut someone who's got a little too much oil in their hair, and when I'm trying to hold these trimmers to line them up, they slip out. Now with these, there's plenty of grooves here for my fingers to grip onto. But with the more smooth bodied trimmers, I run into the issue where if I have too much oil on my gloves, then it'll start to slip. Also have the power button placed right here in the front, similar to how the Stylecraft Instinct, sabers, and just a bunch of Stylecraft tools in general have the button here on the front. And when you push that button and turn it on, it has a blue light that illuminates the button, similar to how Stylecraft usually has a light that illuminates their power buttons. So if I had to rank this on ergonomics, I would give this a 4 out of 5. Reason why I didn't get that 5 is because it is traditional. It has the same body as a lot of other trimmers out there, which is not bad, but it didn't do anything crazy like the Toon 45 did, which I feel like the Toon 45 is the best feeling trimmer in hand when it comes to ergonomics. The next category on this list is performance. And the Recharge trimmer has a professional high-speed DC motor that produces between 7,500 to 8,000 RPMs. It has a lot of torque and is one of the 3 trimmers that I can rely on to cut through extremely thick hair. I have a client, a Hispanic guy. He's got very, very coarse hair. And when I use my Toon 45s or my sabers or my JRLs, they tend to snag. And instead of cutting, they'll pull his hair. And so it makes balding him out very difficult. After I put the bald line in and I'm trying to shave everything below it, I only have had 2 trimmers before the Recharge that didn't seem to have an issue, and that was the Instinct. And we all know that one is one of the most powerful trimmers on the market. That was able to cut through all his hair, but it's also a very loud tool, and I don't really like to use loud tools like that. The other trimmer I had that would cut through his hair very easily is the Precision Saber. Since the saber has a smaller blade, that means more torque transfers over to the blade, so it allows it to cut through the hair easier. So I'm cutting less, but I'm cutting more easily. And the Recharge trimmer has a lot of torque on it, and it's a full-size blade, and it's not loud, so I can bald him out pretty well, and I don't ever feel the trimmer pulling on him. He doesn't feel it pulling, it just goes straight through his hair. The Recharge trimmer comes in 2 different styles. You got the deep tooth blade and the standard tooth blade. Now, if you wanted to get a deep tooth blade, you'd have to get the red and blue trimmer. Now, the deep tooth blade is better for putting in sharper lines, but the standard tooth blade is better for balding out and just bulk removal in general. So when you're buying a trimmer, you're buying it for the lines that it can put in, to bald somebody out and to line someone up, right? And the way I would compare this trimmer would be similar to a Stylecraft saber. And a Stylecraft saber puts in some really nice sharp lines. It's regarded as one of the best trimmers out there. And I would say that this trimmer is just as good in that department when it comes to leaving lines. The benefit that this trimmer has is, since it's got more torque in it, it's able to mow through more hair. So when you're putting in those bald lines on someone who has really thick hair, you're able to put in a nice, crispy, clean line, and you don't have to make as many passes like you might have to on the saber or just another trimmer that doesn't have as much power. But these are really good at putting lines in, and these have been my go-to trimmer since I've got them. So with all that said, I would give the performance a 5 out of 5, giving it a perfect score in that department. So up next, we got the build quality. Now, this trimmer is a plastic trimmer, and I am going to dock it for that. But the difference between this and my other Supreme trimmer products that I've mentioned before is that this plastic doesn't feel as cheap as the other ones do. Now, if you guys have ever had a JRL Ghost or Onyx clipper, That's made out of plastic, but that feels nice. You know, it doesn't feel like it's just cheap plastic, where when you push the lever, it's got that really cheap click. Same thing with this, like when you push the button, it sounds like it's a solid button, and it just feels in hand like this thing is durable and not lightweight. It has some weight to it, but it's not too heavy, and all that adds to the build quality of it. Like, this does not feel like a toy anymore. And I know I mentioned in other videos that some of these products do feel like toys. This does not feel like a toy anymore. This is where it's starting to feel like it's more professional. And the only thing that I believe that would make it feel better was if it was just metal. That's the only thing. So now we're going to talk about the value. Okay, now every time I've talked about Supreme trimmer and value, I've always given him a perfect score. And it's mostly because of everything that you get in the box and the performance. Okay, now I don't use the build quality to determine value. It doesn't matter to me if something feels cheap in my hand. What matters is the way it performs and everything that you get for the price. Okay, so the Supreme Trimmer Recharge Trimmer costs $129.99. And you get a lot with that. With the Recharge Trimmer, you get 4 guards, a number 1 through a 4. You get a cover guard that every trimmer comes with. You get a bottle of oil, a cleaning brush, 2 NRG 1200 batteries, a charging dock that can charge both your spare battery and your trimmer with the battery inside. You get 2 charging cables, Type-C and Supreme Trimmer charging cable, and you get a USB adapter. Last thing that you get for that $129.99, it doesn't say it on the box, but you get this bag. Okay, so you get this travel bag, and you can put your trimmer and your 2 batteries and your charging cable and your guards. You can fit it all in this bag, and it's a nice suede feeling bag, and it's got a string that you just pull to tighten it, and you can also lock it by squeezing this little button right here, and you just pull it, and then boom, your bag is locked and secure. You can wear it around your wrist or whatever you want to keep it safe, but it comes with a bag, and just like any other Supreme Trimmer product comes with a bag. So if you take into consideration everything that you get that was listed on that box and in that bag, and you think about you're spending $129.99 for it, you really feel like you're getting a lot. Because remember, this is supposed to compete with the Babyliss FX1 series, okay? So I'm gonna read off the price of the FX1s, the Low Pro and the regular ones. If you wanted to get a Low Pro FX1 with a battery and a charger, and remember, these batteries can only charge one way. You can't use USB-C and plug it in while you're using the tool. You have to take the battery out and put it in the charging dock, and you're either without a trimmer or you paid an extra $70 to get a second battery. So you're gonna pay $240 for a Low Pro FX1 with a battery and a charger, or you'll pay $150 without a battery or charger. That's tool only. For the regular FX1, you're gonna pay $260 with a battery and charger, or $190 without a battery and charger. So you're spending almost twice as much money, or for the regular FX1, you are spending twice as much money, and all you're getting is one battery, one cable, and a charging dock, and the tool. That's all you get, right? For $130, you get 2 batteries, a charging dock that can charge your battery inside the trimmer and the spare battery at the same time, and it has a USB-A port on the front to be able to charge a third device, whether you want it to be your phone or another clipper. Like right now I have my Darkstar 72 that's plugged in there, and that's how I'm charging it. And you get 4 guards. I don't know if you get any guards with the Babyliss trimmer. I'm not sure about that. And you get the 2 charging cables, the USB adapter. But if you wanted to buy a second FX1 battery, you would have to pay $71 for another FX1 battery, okay? Another Supreme Trimmer NRG 1200 battery will cost you $25 per battery. So you can buy almost 3 batteries for the price of one FX1 battery. And not sure if you'll need it, but like if you're going completely mobile and you're not gonna have a power source nearby, then that extra, spending $75 to get 3 batteries is gonna be a lot better than spending $71 to get 1. I give the Supreme Trimmer Recharge Trimmer a 5 out of 5 when it comes to value. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is the packaging, and it's a Supreme Trimmer product. So if you've ever had a Supreme Trimmer product, then you already know how the packaging is, right? Packaging, 5 out of 5. You got everything organized in such a neat way. When you take the lid off the box, you have your trimmer right here, your 2 batteries here, your charging dock here, and then the box with all the extras, the guards, the oil, the brush, the bag, all that extra stuff, you get it right here. So how many other brands will organize their packaging in a way where it's so easy to put everything back together? Like, let's say you just wanted the trimmer and the batteries and you don't care about none of the other stuff. Take the trimmer and batteries out, put this top plastic piece on, and that's it. Let's say you want to just take some guards out, but you want to put all the other stuff back in the box. Take the box, pull the guards out, put everything else back in that box, put the box in its slot, and it's easy to close and put back together. I've unboxed 6 things by them, and they've all had a very similar experience. It's just simple. So 5 out of 5 for the packaging. So now we're here at the end of the video, and we're going to talk about the total rank. So just to summarize, for the battery life, we gave it a 5 out of 5. For the ergonomics, we gave it a 4 out of 5. Performance, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Build quality, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Or value, 5 out of 5. And then packaging, 5 out of 5. So in total, this makes it my highest ranked review to date, which I haven't done very many. This is only my 3rd one, but this is my highest ranked one with 28 out of 30. So, do I recommend the recharge trimmer? I do. If you want to go mobile, especially if you want to go mobile, I would get the recharge trimmer, because let's say $200, right? You spend $200 on a recharge trimmer and 3 extra batteries, okay? You'll have a total of 5 batteries, which will last you 10 hours. That's a whole day worth of cutting, right? You're not gonna use it for that long, but let's just say you spend $200, okay? You spend $260 on an FX1 trimmer, or $240 for the low pro, and it's gonna last you, I forget how long, 2 or 4 hours for the battery. I'm not entirely sure how long it lasts for, but yeah, you get 10 hours worth of runtime with $200. If you like this video, drop a like, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and let me know what you want me to talk about next. If it's Supreme Trimmer, I will ask them and see if they'll send it out to me. So until next time, take care.